Step one in this process is design. So I've already got my parts. That's my base paddle neck. I haven't shaped it obviously, but I'm going with a reverse Tele headstock. This is just your normal sort of strat neck. And I'm taking prints from a Jazzmaster, and of course rearranging it so that it can accept two necks. And then I'll just freehand something to go in between them. Okay, here's a print of a Tele headstock that I did earlier. The problem is I'm going reversed, but if you reverse it, the machine heads don't come out on the same side of the holes as they would normally. So here's what that looks like, just a reverse of the original print. And I've had to modify and extend it to account for the change in where the tuning pegs are going to stick out. So anyway, before I put this print onto my wood blank, I'm going to practice cut with this because I've never used a table or a band saw before, but I went out and bought this thing used, and I figured if you've never done it before, practice. You only get one shot at cutting this headstock. Well, you can see it's not the easiest thing to do in the world on your first try, but the benefit here is learning how much resistance. This is just pine, so I'm going to have a little more resistance with the maple. The blade can twist while it's cutting, so if I don't have sort of enough corrective pressure on the workpiece, then the blade's not going to go where I want it to, and I have to make little corrections, and I don't want those corrections to go on the wrong side of the line. So in a couple places I purposefully stayed wide, and then of course I would just sand this. That's going to be a lot of sanding. But this will make it a bit easier. A little bit ugly how that last cut ended, but that's what shaping's all about. Alright, now I got this thing carved out. I used this little desk belt sander. It's got the nice wheel here and the belt here, and it's got a nice round edge. It's a pretty big diameter relatively speaking, but it's still useful. So I did a bit of shaping back here, and the rest of this, that's too tight a corner to get in there with, so that's going to have to be done with Dremel or something, but the rest of it I'm pretty happy with. And got to drill these holes. They're not going to be that big. I have the tuners, so I'll know how big to make them, but these holes are handy because they're where to make them, roughly speaking. Okay, slight issue with the template I did. This is the this is just a complete reversal of a normal Tele base headstock, and I don't know, my eyes are telling me that those holes are not in the right spot. I never really dealt with that properly, but as I got this thing cut out, and I had to extend this part of it to make room between where they wanted the hole and the fact that the mechanism is going to be on this side of the where the tuning peg actually comes through, and the handle is going to be like here. Well, anyway, here's my string lines. Here is the center line for where the tuning pegs are going to be with respect to this edge. And that being the case, the actual points that I'm going to want to drill are not here for this one, but way up here. Likewise, not here, but here. That's the next one, and the last one's here. It's pretty close, this last one, but they bunch up closer here, which makes me think maybe this is still an oversized print. I didn't think it was. I was quite sure I'd printed that appropriately. But anyway, so as it appears, I am actually going to need to hack off this chunk of wood, which means my headstock is going to extend way past where the nut is. It's going to look a little funny, but at this stage I am committed. I can't back down now. So, a little more cutting, I guess.